Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all still with me? For my last video, I was feeling kind of salty. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. If you've gotten this far, that's at the end of it. How to get organized. Hmm. Welcome back to my channel. Any new subscribers? I'm glad to have your subscription. I hope you stay for a good long while. And you can click subscribe anytime while watching this video, including right now. Now let's talk about the Marvin Winans and the Marvin. So I'm going to combine both these Marvins together, Marvin Stapp and Marvin Winans, because the audacity of the behavior is really what I'm wanting to discuss, not the act that they did. Because in order to have done those acts, it is a practice. The word act is right in the word practice. So you keep doing it over and over again, you get better at your act. If you are a baseball, so the World Series Dodgers, yay! If you're a baseball player, you get better and better at the act by your practice. If you are a musician, you get better and better by the act of the practice. The act is within the practice. So that's always been the way it was explained to me when I did play some sports. So having said that, in order for them to have made their comments so openly at these mega-sized churches that they have, and particularly nowadays when we know that everyone is video recording everything, it could have been with no intention of sharing his, what I call rebuke. He rebuked this woman. It could have been just for the intention of capturing this sermon and wanting to watch it at a later date. Now, I know I used to do that. I'm listening, but this is so good. I think I might want to hear it again. And so, I would record it and listen. So there was probably no ill intent of those who shared the video. But then again, maybe that's how they chose to use their voice. Having said that, the practice of shaming an individual can only grow by the silence of shaming an individual because you said nothing about it. In a mega church like that, those type of reprimands as they come forth, to be a member of a mega church like that, and for that to continue to go, one or two things occurred. You either left and decided this ain't for me and left it alone, or you're still there and it's okay with you, or you're silent about it, which means it's okay with you. And that's called complicity. You're complicit. You know it's not proper. You know it's not etiquette. You know it's not good leadership. You know it should be changed, yet you do nothing about it. You don't even have a conversation about it. So for you, whoever you are, as just a member of that church, it becomes a sense of complicity, even when you don't believe you have a position or a powerful position or voice by which to change it. You're still sitting in it. You're not the person that I said earlier when I said you did one or two things. You saw it and you left. At least that person said, this ain't for me. I don't see how I can change it. Maybe it'll change along the way, but this is not for me. I'm out. When you sit in it, you approve it. This is what I mean when you are in a household, and I know life is imperfect, everyone. So please understand that I know that life is imperfect. But I also know that you allow what you tolerate. You allow what you tolerate, and then you tolerate what you've allowed. This is why people mistreat people. This is why people mistreat you. This is why people think they can do a horrible thing to you and get away with it. Because there's no standard by which you're holding them accountable. Now, I'm not saying don't be unforgiving when someone has bad conduct. That is not at all what I'm saying. Because As I said earlier, we're all in. I've said some things and I've done some things that I said, you know what? I checked myself. Girl, why you do that? I'm quick to apologize because an apology to me says, I recognize that's wrong. And because I have so many imperfections, I don't want that to be one of them. So bounce, and I won't do it again. Not everybody is so disciplined, or not everybody even give up. Bad behavior has become so popular that it's okay to have bad behavior. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. So when Marvin Sapp said, close the doors to the ushers, as he was raising an offering too. So it's about that money. Oh, you gonna get that money, huh? Is that not called a pimp? Yeah, what is Rihanna? So this is not just about the church. This is about the behavior. So, let the language of my content be okay with you. But this is what Rihanna said, bitch better have my money. Oh, it's kind of like that. It's like, better have my money. When he said close the doors, he was collecting an offering by which he felt he didn't have enough. When Marvin Winans said, I need 1,000 plus 1,000, and this woman offered 1,000 plus 235, he corrected her and said, that's not what I asked you for. It's that kind of bitch better have my money. So let's just talk about that piece of it. When they both asked for that collectively, no, it wasn't individually. When they both asked for that money, I say money, when they both asked for that and it wasn't done then, they corrected the person. This is that bitch better have my money part. They corrected the person. So let's say Marvin Sapp. He said, ushers, close the doors. And people were still walking out. So he reiterated, I said close, and the tenure of the tone, there you go. The tone of his request became more demanding. I said close the doors. Well, let's talk about that. When you request that the doors be closed and someone's trying to exit, are you not holding them against their will and to some degree holding them hostage? Now, he had interviews where he said they could have left on their own. And which door was open for them to do that? When you said ushers, close the doors, plural. And if you're saying the doors were unlocked, that may be because you're in your business hours. So the doors are to remain unlocked under business hours. Still, and however, still, nonetheless, and however, the doors could have remained open without your request for the ushers to close them. Because for you to say to the ushers, close the doors, that meant the doors were open. So that's why you're trying to hold them, in my view, wholly hostage. Okay? And then we have Marvin Winans, when he had already given instructions as to 1,000 plus 1,000. It doesn't matter the instruction you gave. This person gave from the goodness of their heart. And it wasn't 1,000 plus 1,000. Even if you say in your interviews, you were trying to correct that she was in the wrong line for her giving. Let's just say that. In his interviews, he said that he had told her, and he had said before everyone, if she happened to be there at that time, that y'all aren't listening, he said. I'm asking for 1,000 plus 1,000. Even if she wasn't in the line for that, he could have good-heartedly accepted. She gave $1,235. That's more than many people's rent our mortgage in this country, yet she gave it. And to not receive it without a reprimand in front of her child, son, grandson, whatever, that's bad representation from the pulpit, reprimand. Even the organist had your back. All of that participative shaming. The organist had participative shaming. The fact that no one in the room stood up right then and there, they had silent shaming. They didn't do anything about it. So it was complicit. This is what I mean when it wasn't done at the act. The corrective action comes after the fact. And it's usually to make a better image of you. Correct your ways and your image will change. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. I'll see you next time, guys. I gotta go. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.